Admittedly, the diary with dreams.
One of the major security issues we are facing today in our society has to do with cybersecurity, threats, and so on and so forth. How safe are your data out there on the internet? How well do you know about cybersecurity issues and so on? Today on AdMezuzah Connect, we are getting you closer to an expert who is going to help us break down issues with regards to security threats on internet, cybersecurity issues, and so on and so forth. And this show, like we always say, we get you closer to our security agents who are working tirelessly to make sure that you are safe, and then of course you are living in a sound environment to run your businesses and day-to-day activities. My name is Stephen Wonder Kojo Arte, and that's how I welcome you to today's episode of AdMezuzah Connect, brought to you by Special Eyes Company, GH Media School, Cheesy Pizza, AdMezuzah Media Consult, Utomu Consult, Princess Foundation, Haynes Multimedia, the Ghanaian market on YouTube, and then of course Guba Inspires. We'll be going for a very quick commercial break, and when we come back, our expert is seated and we are going to talk to him and then dig deeper into issues of cybersecurity in our society today. For staying with us. A very big thank you to all our sponsors and all those who are working tirelessly to make sure that this program gets to you at home. And I also want to encourage that as you are watching this video, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and also like and share, and we'll have a very special package especially for this episode. If you comment, we'll give you something very special. We want to surprise you, so just be the first person to share this video, comment, like, and then we'll get to you in your DMs for our special package. Today, I have with me here someone I respect so much. I've been following him on social media. I spoke to my producer. I told him I want to speak to this gentleman, and he brought him to the studio for me. I'm so glad to have him here. He is a cybersecurity expert and then, of course, a certified ethical hacker working with one of our law enforcement agencies. Thank you so much. I have with me here Mr. Danstan Guba. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you too.
So first of all, we would like to know you more. I wanted to go straight into the security threat issues on social media, but then when we talk about Mr. Danstan Guba, who is he?
Danstan Guba, as I'm called. Mostly people call me Guba because the Danstan is a bit complicated for people to mention.
But it's a beautiful name.
Yes, Danstan. Yes. I'm from the Upper West region of Ghana, and I am from a family of 8. Okay. I am the only male child, so I have about 7 other siblings who are all females, and I'm here in Accra. I work with one of the law enforcement agencies in Ghana, and in my line of work, I do mostly cyber security related issues. Yes, so basically, that is what I can say about Danstan. And I'm single too.
Okay. So I think my producer is single too. Beautiful lady. So after we'll connect you. But then, where from this idea of cybersecurity on your personal life? Where did you get the knowledge from? How did it start?
So typically, growing up, like other kids, I always wanted to become a medical doctor. Okay. So growing up, I did a lot of research about about being a medical doctor. So I remember clearly when I was somewhere 8 years, back then, my dad is a retired police officer, Mr. Guba. Okay. He's popularly known. He enrolled me in computer school. Back then, it was this big desktop computers. Yes. The first time I entered the computer lab, I realized that the air conditioning and everything around the place, the computers and everything, really caught my attention. I met one one other person that I was enrolled with. He was called Ernest. He's called Ernest, actually, yes. So Ernest introduced me to a game he was playing on the computer. That I think it should be Road Rash.
Okay, yes.
I fell in love with the game, and so I tried playing for the first time. That was my first encounter with the computer. I loved it. The next encounter was when I was looking for the game to play on the desktop, and I realized Ernest has actually hidden the icon of the game. Wow. You know, you have to click on the icon. Yes. It's on desktop. Yeah, so I realized Ernest has hidden the icon, and I was ignorant of what to do and how to go about it. Then I realized that anytime I needed to navigate myself on the computer, it was very difficult for me. So growing up, I realized that people could actually hide things on the computer, and people could actually get access to information any ordinary person cannot, get. So the idea of security, safety, what to do to get certain information on the computer started coming into play. So I was a bit curious. I developed an attitude to do a lot of research on how to hide things on the computer, on the internet, how to retrieve information that is hidden from the public and all that. So
should we say you were home trained?
Not entirely. From where I come from, let me not say from where I come from. In Ghana, the topic of cybersecurity is now being understood by a lot of people, because recently we had our Cyber Security Act passed, and so people are getting the understanding of the act. People are getting to understand that people can hide things from me. Even when your information is out there, people can get access to it without your notice, and they can use it for any other thing they would want to do. So I did a lot of research online. Like I mentioned, I wanted to become a medical doctor. I had my friends, become a medical doctor and all that. So I'm sure my parents also wanted me to become a medical doctor.
It's very necessary.
Yes. So
I wanted to be a gynecologist.
Oh, nice. It's in the same direction.
Yeah.
So I realized that I had passion in the digital devices. And I was good naturally because I was always on net. Nobody really gave me, not until I had a very formal education in the area of cybersecurity, I could understand and get to do things on my own in relating to cybersecurity. So I realized, why not make my passion a career rather than get to do something that I'm not really into. I like to explore. I like to push myself to be the best. And I wouldn't want to become a medical doctor and then I have an interest in
So fast forward, you began to learn a lot about internet and how to even access people's data without their knowledge.
I will not say that. So the thing about cybersecurity is all about preventing unauthorized access to information, preventing people from getting hands into information they are not supposed to get. Assuming you give me your phone right now, maybe 30 minutes with your phone, I would probably get a lot of information. I would probably copy some of the information, but are you really certain I'll be able to keep the information for something positive about yourself, or maybe you use it for negative things? You can't. So the thing is to prevent unauthorized access to information people are not supposed to.
So before joining the law enforcement agencies, you had this idea. And you know what opportunities that comes with it? A lot of opportunities where you could get a lot of money. Why move into, when you can make money with this knowledge you have, why move into security agencies to be attacking or then of course getting those who are really using it for bad arrested?
So the issue about unauthorized access has to do with cyber criminals getting access to information. Let me say hackers, which we all know. And there are three types of hackers. We have popularly the category of hackers we call the black hat hackers. These are the kind of people who get unauthorized access to information and then use it for their own malicious intent. It could be for money or to destroy your reputation, basically anything bad. And then we have the white hat hackers. That is where I can categorize myself in. Normally, we call ourselves ethical hackers. And then to be an ethical hacker, it's a long journey into cybersecurity, then you get your certification. So the concept of ethical hacking means that you would have to follow procedures and protocols to get access to information. Yeah. And once you get access to those information, there are protocols to follow to rectify any damage that is being done or about to be committed. And like before you can, there's a popular saying that before you can advise someone on a situation, it's best you would have at least experienced that. So it means that you have to understand and know how these black hat hackers work and how they maneuver their way in the internet space. Then you can be able to beat them on their game.
Myself and my producer, we had a tough time getting you. Especially because of your line of work and all that, because you might not want to have a lot of people who have eyes on you and all that. How dangerous is the work for you?
So one thing about cybersecurity is that you don't really have to reveal your identity on the kind of work you do. You could do a lot, but people will not know that you are the one doing it. Unless for purposes of education, you want to sensitize the public on issues of cybersecurity. Like we are doing now. Yes, like we are doing now. I could do a lot, but you will never know that I'm the one. Yes. I'm the one doing it. So the work is good, except you have to stay focused because you get yourself into a lot of information you can actually use for to do anything bad. But once you go through the journey, you understand the work you do, you are always in to fight these cyber criminals.
Thank you so much. This is what AdMizuza Connect is about. Sometimes I think the talking is too much as at this point. So I want us to see how it is done, how this is demonstrated, how someone can get into your personal data and use it for horrible stuff, especially on the internet. We'll go for a very quick commercial break, and when we come back, we'll demonstrate to you how this hacking is done, how people can get in touch with your personal data on internet and use it against you. Stay tuned, we'll be back.
What's cool, fresh and trendy with a new look? Makes you feel real good, that refreshing vibe. Satisfies you right just the way you like. Do you know? Do you know? Do you know? Oh, ain't gotta do it alone. Specialized makes you flow. Anytime, anywhere. Specialized, feel different. Always think Special Ice Natural Mineral Water. Feel different. Think special. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
All right, so thank you so much for staying tuned. This is AdMizuza Connect live here on your YouTube channel, favorite YouTube channel, AdMizuza News. Make sure you like, you share, you comment, and then of course subscribe to our channel so you can get access to our subsequent videos. Today, we are talking to a cybersecurity expert. We had a lot of information about his personal life and so on and so forth, and then he gave us a lot of theories of how these things are done. we want to give you a live simulation of how these things are demonstrated, how hackers can get access to your personal data and use it for a whole lot of things. This is AdMisuza Connect, the only show where you get to see practically what is done in the society that affects you, and then of course how you can help yourself prevent these things from your data and internet issues and so on and so forth. Thank you so much for staying tuned. Mr. Guba, now we are back. We want to see how it is done. So I think, you should tell us what you want to demonstrate to us, and then of course how it is done. Then we follow the steps and we see how it is done.
So for the purpose of this, for the viewers at home, this is for educational purpose. Like we mentioned earlier, it's good you understand how these cyber criminals can do take over your information on the internet so that you can best protect yourself. Mostly, you would realize that people complain on their social media accounts being taken over, and you would understand that once your social media account is taken over, most of the information you would have about yourself, your interactions with your friends and families are compromised. So today, I'll just take you through some of the things that could actually let you allow these cyber criminals take over your social media accounts. Typically, a cyber criminal wants your information, and he or she might want to sell your information to someone else or would want to use it against you. So there are circumstances where you find other people's social media accounts being hacked, and then the cyber criminals get back to them, telling them to pay 10,000, 5,000 to get the accounts back and all that. And this is strictly criminal. Now, for your social media account to be hacked, let me not limit it to social media. Let's talk about internet banking, any account you have online. For it to be hacked, there are three things here. The first thing is that you can negligently leave or allow someone to get access to your phone. So assuming you are logged onto your phone, and then I want to say something on Facebook, you give it to me. Once I have a criminal mind, a malicious intent, I can actually reset your password once you've opened it and given it to me. Now, the second thing is when the cyber criminals actually harvest information about yourself to steal your personal data. Normally, this is done through what we call social engineering. Before someone will get your information about yourself or get to hack your account, the person would have done a little bit of research on about you, your personality. What do you post? What do you like? This is what we call social engineering. They actually do get time to study their victims, especially when they know that you are strictly the target. This also happens with website systems, heavy systems. When these hackers actually want to hack these systems, they study the architectural composition of the system, the firewalls on the system, and find loopholes, vulnerabilities. That is why one very key important area to fighting these cyber criminals is what we call vulnerability assessment. For us who also fight these cyber criminals, we do a lot of assessment on them, their motives, how they could find loopholes in systems and all that. So most of the time, you actually have people setting up their accounts, having their systems and contracting cyber experts to try to bypass their system, to see the loopholes, and then try to fix it. Wow. Except the cyber criminal will bypass it, and they will not fix it. Will rather get your information and use it against you. Now, aside social engineering, the third thing these cyber criminals typically they use to harvest information about ourselves or take over our social media accounts is what we call phishing. Phishing attack. This is where they try to lure you into clicking a link, and then once you input your details, they take over your account.
I had that encounter on Facebook. I was chatting a certain guy for about a week, and then he said he wanted me to vote for him. In a contest he's trying to compete in. So in less than 5 minutes, he said he's going to send me a link where I can use to vote for him. We were chatting for weeks. So I was like, okay. So the link came, and then it was reset your password on Facebook, blah, blah, blah. So I got back to him quickly. I was like, oh no, I was talking to you as a normal human being. You don't do this to me. So quickly I had to block him. How is that done?
So
all he asked for was my contact.
Exactly. So what happens is that, like I mentioned, before this cyber criminal would get in touch with you, he would have done a bit of digging about yourself, and then would lure you to clicking on a link. And the link would actually prompt you to input your details. Now, it is assumed that, let me not say assumed, I mean, this is a practice most Ghanaians do, most people do, which is bad, that they create a mail account, let's say a Gmail account, and then use the same logins for Facebook, internet banking, simply because they think when they change the password for all those platforms, they may forget. So once the hacker gets your logins, he tries it on all those platforms. So you realize that your Facebook account is hacked, your Instagram is hacked, your Snapchat is hacked, your Gmail is hacked, where all these recovery information comes in. And imagine if someone has gotten access to your Gmail account, your Google Photos is hacked, your Google Drive is hacked. Basically, your phone is hacked. And people use the same information, those using iPhones to use it on their iCloud and all that, So you realize that it is really a bad practice to keep the same passwords for all these online platforms, because once one is hacked, the other platforms too.
So how is it done with the computer?
So normally what a cyber criminal will do is that the cyber criminal always has an infrastructure at home that sits on in his house as a server, as what he used to perform his tasks. And what a cyber criminal typically would do is to make sure that if there is an instance where the police or any of the law enforcement will be looking for him or her, it will be very difficult, if not impossible. So what they do is that they use, once they have a computer connected to the internet, they use what we call a VPN, a virtual private network. So it's basically a software that changes your IP addresses, your IP addresses on the internet. Now let me dig into IP addresses. Once you are connected to the internet, you are given a number, literally, for the purpose of our viewers at home. Let me not use technical words. The IP addresses works like a house number, either an identity that you can give to someone for the person to find you on the internet. So these virtual private networks changes their IP addresses. So it happens that they can actually commit the act, and when the police is searching for them, they realize that the person is in maybe Ouagadougou, meanwhile the person is here in Ghana. So you see the difficulties. So in our case, we are going to use social media hacking, account takeover as an example. So the malware will actually collect the information and give it to the.
So I think let's share your screen. And let's practically, look at how it is done. We will need to meet you again, where maybe we'll be climbing up on the basic things we need to know.
Okay.
So, but for now, let's show our viewers how these things is done. Maybe 2-3 minutes, and then. So you'll be doing the dialogue for us. You'll be talking to us and explaining the steps to us. So
for our viewers at home, getting unauthorized access to an information is strictly criminal, and you can be prosecuted. Most instances, when you have unauthorized access to people's information using illegal means, you can go to jail for more than 15 years. So please. This is for educational purposes. Like I told you, we have a system where these cyber criminals will use for their hacking. So this is ours. Now we are going to re-engineer a phishing attack. Now this phishing attacks works with people sending you URLs to click on. The URLs, which is normally what we call the Uniform Resource Locator, clones a particular website. So you may think you're actually dealing with Facebook, but you're not dealing with Facebook. So for the purposes of our simulation, we are going to use Facebook. So I'm going to develop a phishing, I'm going to re-engineer a phishing attack and then use Facebook as an example. So I'm trying to create the malware for use, for launch.
Yeah.
So I have just a second, okay. Okay, so I have a malware developed here, a phishing link.
Mm-hmm.
So let me open my browser. Now, we hear that when you see a website that starts with HTTP, it means it's not secured. And then HTTPS means it's secure. But interestingly, phishing attacks that now comes up has their URLs, their links very secured. So don't think you see HTTPS and you think, so you are safe. You really need to do a lot of digging.
Wow.
I just generated a phishing link that is going to look exactly like Facebook. The idea is to deceive you to want to input your details. So typically, someone can actually send you a link and you may tap on it, lure you to tap on it, and you may think it's Facebook, but then everything on the page is engineered to steal your information. This happens not only to social media platforms, but to all other platforms on the internet, to your banking apps and other platforms.
I saw you copied one HTTPS / and this is what it opened.
This is what it opened.
But this is not Facebook.
This is not Facebook. Now, for a typical person to be very secured, once someone sends you an information of this nature, before you even input your details or even open it, there are a lot of things you are supposed to do.
Okay.
For me, what I'll do is to try and see if this is really Facebook. So I would want to go to google.com, and then search for Facebook, whether this is really the Facebook I know. Mostly people get hacked because they are not curious about certain information on the internet. Once you are naive, you try to dig into the truth about some of these things, you are able to prevent a lot of cyber attack. Now here we have Facebook. Mm-hmm. This seems to be the original Facebook account because I had it from Google and I could check the traffic on it. Okay. If you are not so sure of the page, you could also check the traffic on it. Now, website traffic talks about the number of users that are actually on it at a moment, yes. So we have 2 Facebook pages. Now, we have this connect with Facebook, connect with friends and the world around you on Facebook. And then we have Facebook helps you connect and share with the people. If you are given these 2 pages, you can't really distinguish between the two. So once the first page is given to you, open it, try to be curious to find out whether this is actually Facebook. Now let's input our details here. Can you give me a random email address?
Okay, so let me say Wonder Ate.
So we are putting Wonder
Ate, A-T-E-H.
A-T-E-H. Nat.
Yes. A-T-E-H.
Nat. I hope it's not a real...
It's not a real...
Yes, Nat.
Yes. A-T-E-H. I think you inputted Y, not
okay, so
H, yes.
A-T-E-H.
Yes, so at gmail.com.
At gmail.com. Yeah. Okay, now I want you to give me a password. Randomly, no, don't mention it yet.
Yes.
Try to input a password here for me. Can you come over?
Okay, so let me do that.
A password, only you know, say nobody else knows.
Password, let me see. No, let me get
Okay. Okay. So we are logging in with
Yes.
the email and the password you
Yes.
give us. Okay. So there's a prompt whether to save this. I don't want to save this. Then I am redirected. Assuming this is a genuine email and password,
Yes.
you realize that I am being redirected to a genuine Facebook page. The idea to understand is that once you input your details in a phishing link, you are redirected to the correct one, or you are logged out. You are being told that you are not, the site is not actually genuine. By then, your information has already been taken out. So, assuming this is the victim's computer. Now we go back to the hackers. And what email, what password did you put?
So it's CALLISTUS.
Okay, so you realize that the hacker has a lot of information about yourself. Now you realize that the hacker has the email address, which if I could.
And the password.
Yes, and the password. You see what happens? So as soon as the hacker has this kind of information.
So disclaimer, this is actually the name of one of my exes. We never met before. I've never used the name for anything before. So please, you can use it.
Yes, so then you realize that, yes. So for the purpose of this, the person immediately takes your information and, the person gets access to your information on there to be able to use.
You were trying to exhibit some ways to know how an ordinary person who might not even know the difference between the Facebook interface and maybe any other dubious one, how do we identify these things? So when the pop-up comes, the Fisher logins come, you quickly get to know that this is what I don't want.
So there is a website I would recommend. It's called VirusTotal. Okay. Normally, to do the page investigations entails a lot of work. There is a website. You can search it at home. Okay. It's called VirusTotal. Okay. And with this VirusTotal, when you open it, whatever link you want to really verify whether it's fake or authentic, assuming we had this link. Now, let me note that these links can be maxed up. Okay. They can actually be changed, especially when the cyber criminal wants it to look more real and more genuine. You realize that it is Facebook, but then the alphabet O in the Facebook is zero, and you might not be able to notice it. So once this is Facebook, and then you log in.
So the site's virus.
Yeah, VirusTotal. Okay. You can just go to VirusTotal. Now, this website is engineered to identify malwares in the phishing links and in document form or even from search engines. Someone can actually engineer a malware as a picture and send it to you to take over your account or to get remote access into your phone. So once you get these, you can, before you open or perform any action, try and see whether it is real or genuine. It's real or it's not real. Okay. So for the purposes of ours, we go to URL on the website and then we input our...
search.
We input our... we input the URL for the phishing attack and then we immediately search it. Now, you realize that once you search it, there are a lot of companies that do day-to-day malware analysis. Okay. I mentioned malware are the tools that actually compromises your account or your device. Okay. You realize that two of the threat vectors, security threat vectors, has flagged this as malicious. You see, they've written CMC threat intelligence. Malware. Yes, they have flagged it as malicious. Now, the idea is that this is a bit technical. So once you input the URL and you realize that any column is red, please desist from it. Don't even open it.
We have learnt a lot for today. Very interesting for us to begin to identify this. I think the most important thing you as an ordinary person can take is the virus total.
Yeah, the virus total.
Yes. So as soon as you get a pop-up as a fisher, something, quickly go and then check, and then it will help you. We'll be going for a very quick commercial break, and when we come back, we are going to talk a lot about what he is doing personally as an individual, as an expert, to help the general society, especially the most vulnerable people, how they can get to know about these situations and then help themselves. So he's doing a lot, and so we are going to talk extensively on the things that he is doing for himself. We'll go for that quick commercial break, and when we come back, the show continues. So thank you so much. It's been a very educative show today. We spoke about cybersecurity threats and cybersecurity issues, and in fact how your personal data could be hacked into on internet and so on and so forth. We also, before the commercial break, we gave you a live simulation on how these things are done, and then Mr. Guba took us through it step by step and introduced us to a site where you can even verify when you get those pop-ups on your phone that enter your details, give us this on your details to, so whatever. So try as much as possible to be very meticulous on the things you accept, the links you click on to even put your personal details into. Today I am really, really excited to have Mr. Guba with us. And we've spoke about a lot already. I want us to go a little bit personal on him. Mr. Guba, you know all this. How are you helping society in one way or the other? This is the question I ask everybody I meet on the show. All this knowledge you acquire, all this clearance you have, how are you helping people to not to be too vulnerable to these kind of situations on the internet?
So what I normally do, aside my work as a law enforcement personnel, is to try and sensitize people and let people understand some of the threats on the cyberspace. These cyber criminals are really well in depth in whatever they do to make sure that they compromise information of people on the internet space or get access to information they are not able to, the information you really wouldn't want it to go in the public domain. So in my little way, I have a foundation, Guba Inspires. What Guba Inspires does is that we work towards achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. And this year, we are doing more of cyber security awareness for women and young adults. I've realized that most of the issues of cyber security has to do with the fact that people get people's information and use it against them. And one peculiar issue I've always encountered is where people are complaining that other people out there have their nudes and they are using it against them, they are contacting them, trying to blackmail them and all that. So this year, Guba Inspires is dedicated in helping out to resolve some of these issues. I have a technical team that works to want to salvage the issue. Okay. Now, once this information goes out, the person's reputation and personality is always at stake. And I've had issues or I've seen situations where people actually committed suicide yes. because other people had very personal information. Typically, we refer to this kind of cyber crime as sextortion. Yeah. People have your sexual material and using against you. So Guba Inspires is this year educating young adults on the need to actually stop distributing and getting in possession of some of these materials, because the police will actually prosecute you when they realize that you're actually in possession of someone's private information and using against them. And the police has been successful in prosecuting a lot.
How do I get in touch with Guba Inspires if I happen to find myself in any of these situations?
So Guba Inspires is on Facebook at Guba Inspires, or you can reach me on Instagram, very active on Instagram, at Danstan Guba. And I'm ready to help out with you on all your cyber-related issues, link you up with the appropriate authority, the appropriate law enforcement agents to help you salvage the issue. Now, cybersecurity is best handled when it is reported. Assuming your account is hacked, in the next 24 hours or 48 hours, you're able to inform the police. The police can get a lot of information. And the police normally works in conjunction with these service providers, so they can actually resolve your issue for them, your issue from them very effectively when it's reported early. But when you sit on it until it escalates, the internet doesn't forget. Nobody can control the amount of information that can go viral. But when it's within 10, 5, maybe even 50 group of persons, you are able to track the information and follow up. But when it goes viral, let's take for instance, an information goes viral on WhatsApp, and you realize that WhatsApp has tagged it forwarded many times or forwarded many.
Yes.
How are you going to track all these people? You can't. But when it is fresh in the system, law enforcement agents are able to track down the sources, try to restrain or restrict the content, and they are able to get the perpetrators. Normally, the focus is always getting the perpetrator, because even when the issue is resolved on the cyberspace, the person is still there, and tomorrow the person can, yes,
again and again.
Exactly. So most of the times, when the police arrest other cyber criminals, they realize that they have indeed committed other cyber attacks. They are suspects in other crimes.
Yes, because you know, this knowledge comes with a lot of opportunities, maybe where the person could use this knowledge for a whole lot of things. I can use it to start frauding people, blackmailing people. So it's very difficult to have someone who has the knowledge and wants to go your way by working with security agencies instead.
I would always advise people, normally the way you would assess the security agencies by their work is when crime is not actually in existence. And I always say security has to start with you. If someone calls you, hello, I'm your cousin from abroad, I'm sending things to you, send 10,000. If you don't send the money, you won't become a victim of cybercrime. And you realize with these Momo frauds, a lot of people, let me not say, they want to have things in the easy way.
Oh, yes.
Because if I call you, I tell you I'm sending you 10,000, so send me 1,000 cedis. Because probably you would want money in the fastest way, you would send me the 1,000 cedis.
So share with us, with people, a layman in such situation, how can we get to the law enforcement agencies? For example, get reporting to the police. How do we do that? So
I know with the police, you can walk into any police station and make a report. But cybercrime and cybersecurity is very specialized. It is not like traditional crime, stealing. Mostly these cyber criminals are anonymous. If someone hacks your account, how will you know who have hacked? Imagine the number of people connected to the internet at every microsecond. So I will advise you to report it at the Criminal Investigations Department. They have a cybercrime unit. You go there, they would assist you. You can also reach out to the Cyber Security Authority. They would also assist you. Yes.
All right, so thank you so much for coming. I'm really grateful. We've learned a lot today. And I think we'll bring you back on the show again.
No problem.
We need to be climbing a little bit on the things we do. These are just basics, and it wouldn't even take you. But I believe that we've learned a lot today. One, like I said from the beginning, the major concerns of security concerns today is cyber security threats and issues, especially about your personal data on the internet that people can easily have access to. So the more you need to be very skeptical on the kind of things, links you follow, share, click on, and so on and so forth. Thank you so much for joining me here on AdMizuza Connect today. We spoke to a security agent, a law enforcement agent, who happens to be a cyber security expert and then an ethical and certified hacker. And he told us a lot, taught us a lot, demonstrated to us how some of these things are done. A very big thank you to him, Mr. Danstan Guba, for this. And then he also has Guba Inspire, and it's a foundation that is into training people or teaching people to understand these basic things that they do on the internet and hacking, especially for women and children, the most vulnerable people. So you can follow him on all social media handles, and then you get access to him. Also follow and then get to know certain things, so you can be very skeptical on the things you do on social media. Very big thanks to Special Eyes, GH Media School, Cheesy Pizza, AdMizuza Media Consult, Otomi Consult, Princess Foundation, Penis Multimedia, the Ghanaian Market on YouTube, as well as Guba Inspires. My name is Stephen Wonder Kojo Ate. Catch you same time next week for our next episode.